trading Myles Garrett is better than just putting a Band-Aid on a situation and saying, maybe Myles Garrett gets you a couple more wins throughout the year. But like, if you're a 5-12 football team, is that much better than being 3-14? You know what I'm saying? So wouldn't you rather trade him, clear the deck, lose out, whatever it might be? And no one wants to lose. No one wants to go through, punt on the 2025 season. You don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Maybe it'll free up our Sundays a little bit more because we won't care as much. But at the end of the day, if you're a Browns fan, you just want to see a winner out there. And that's all the fans of the Cleveland Browns have simply asked for from this team. So the Haslams, Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, Paul DePodesta, all the front office people, no one's trying to fail, but we're also making some huge mistakes here. And somebody has to be accountable for that, and somebody has to answer the bell. So I don't know what the answer is, but trading Myles Garrett to me, and you have that second pick, maybe you get another high first rounder, maybe you get another first rounder next year. I don't know what the answer is, but you're not going anywhere simply without a quarterback. Well, I don't care how good he is.
Two scenarios.
Yeah.
So let's just say they're like, okay, Myles, like we are aware of our situation and we know what holes we have to fill. One more year will give us your heart again. We're going to prove to you that all along we made a mistake and we paid the repercussions, but we're going to give you this year.
Yeah.
Let him out of his contract after this year, but give it one go.
Well, he's under a contract for 2 more years.
Right. So this year's the freebie.
Okay.
We're going to hold you the contract, but if we can't come through for you this year and show you that we're on our way to a Super Bowl, the second year we're going to acquire, or we're going to allow you that trade.
Okay.
Versus getting rid of him, getting some pretty good trade capital for it, getting someone to fill in that void, and then going after a quarterback to say, all right, you know what? We've been embarrassed.
Yep.
Our number one defensive player bailed on us because he has no vision of the future that says we're going to win a Super Bowl in here. We're going to show that, use that as a motivating factor.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the Browns compete to win the AFC next year?
No.
Me either.
We're 3 years away. So no matter what, we're 3 years away.
So my answer to that is simple then. If you do not think the Browns can compete for a Super Bowl next year, why not get rid of him now and get what you can? Because next year his contract won't be as valuable. You're probably not going to get as much. And if you have an unhappy player in the building, it's like, I mean,
but he'll play with heart. Myles Garrett.
He'll give everything he can when he's on the field. Yeah, there's 100%.
But you get JOK back there.
Maybe we don't know his status. That dude might never play football again because of his neck injury. So the Browns have a whole heap of trouble here.
But okay, hypothetically, you bring a quarterback in that is maybe not, somebody you fetched in free agency or maybe somebody you drafted.
Yeah.
But you fill in some of the holes that were due to injuries last time, and you get not a Super Bowl, but you get something that has some life into it. 11 wins would be great.
Hey, I think we were just there 12 months ago. The Browns were 11-6 last year.
You bring Flacco back and you bring JOK back, and it's the same setup. It's the same team.
With or without Myles Garrett.
Right? Oh.
With or without. That makes a huge difference.
It does too.
Because he affects everything you do on the back end as well, because that defense, that secondary, which was great in the past, was able to not cover as long because he could get after the quarterback.
Right.
So
you're saying his value right now,
I think it's
releasing him is greater than not.
Trading him right now would be
100%.
the best, sometime before the draft, let's just say. That way, and if I had it my way, I would want as much capital in next year's draft as I could get. So in the 2026 draft, which sounds crazy to think, because
Browns fans are looking for 2026.
This draft is good. There's a lot of quality football. There's a lot of really high-end talent in this year's draft, but the quarterback position, so you got Cam Ward from Miami, you got Shedeur Sanders from Colorado, Deion's son, you got Jackson Dart. Well,
you can allow that to happen.
The Browns, based on things I've heard, that would be their number one quarterback on their radar because he would run Kevin Stefanski's system the best. He is very accurate. He's a very accurate quarterback. He had bad offensive line play at Colorado. He's been through all the spotlight and stuff because of just simply his dad. And Colorado turned into like a media circus. He does come with some red flags. Is he the best quarterback, in the draft? I don't know. But like if he was in last year's draft, I heard people say he would be the third quarterback in last year's draft.
His dad hates you. He hates everything about you.
Me?
All right, maybe not
Browns.
you. The Browns.
Oh, I had a Deion Sanders Cowboys jersey when I was a kid, and I actually loved that guy when he was on the field. But I don't know if Shedeur Sanders is the answer. I really don't. But I do know that putting a rookie quarterback in a bad situation is not ideal. And that is very Browns to do that.
How is that shitty that we have the number 2 pick in the draft and there's not like an ace quarterback to throw?
And sometimes there are, sometimes there aren't.
I hate that.
You go back, to the 1 year with Kenny Pickett was the only first rounder. A couple years ago, the Steelers took him. That was a bad quarterback draft. But last year, you had the kid from Chicago out of USC. You had Jaden Daniels, who took Washington all the way to the NFC Championship game. By the way, Washington had the second pick in the draft last year. So if you nail your pick, it can turn around quickly. And Drake May went third to the Patriots last year. They seem to really like him. So I don't know. I really don't know. But whatever you do with that second pick, you got to nail it. Like if it's a quarterback, he has to be good. Like he doesn't have to be great, but he's got to be really good. It can't be a Brandon Weeden flame
Andrew
out.
Berry to make that a decent pick.
Andrew Berry hasn't had a first round pick since 2021. And that was Greg Newsome, who's been a starter, but not a great player. And then before that, it was Jed Wills, who no one likes Jed Wills. So, and you had Andrew Wirfs there Tristan Wirfs there, who was, went after him, who's been like an perennial all-pro for Tampa Bay that went after him. So I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know if the Browns know. And but truthfully, you, me, whoever's watching this show could probably have made better decisions than the Browns front office over the past 3, 4, 5 years. Have they made some good things? Yes, but their moves, especially the big ones, are very questionable over the last 4 years.
I trust your mom's insight more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Like she would have never made this decision.
Well, so her least favorite player is Deshaun Watson.
Every other decision would have been better. It could have been the worst decision, and it would still be better than the decision that they ended up making.
I agree. And literally, there are some people, they don't watch college football that much, but they can identify that's a good player, that's not. And there's way more to it than just watching a game on TV or reading one article and saying, oh, that guy's the way to go. It's, these scouts and stuff get into the weeds. They get to know what they do off the field. They get to know their pasts and their intellect and stuff like that. So they do have a lot more insight than we do. With that said, I think if you're telling me it's like this guy or this guy or this guy, I'm like, we could probably have just as high of a percentage chance of picking the right player for the Cleveland Browns as some of the front office stuff.